What's going on, y'all? Today we got ways LeBron James copies Michael Jordan. Let's get into it, man.
Michael Jordan is one of the most influential athletes to ever exist. So much so that he actually inspired a lot of LeBron's decisions in the NBA and in his personal life. Back in the late 80s and 90s, Michael Jordan was the face of the NBA, and at one point he was the most famous person in America. The summer of 1995 was a busy one, critical one for Michael Jordan, and after returning to the NBA from his stint as a minor league baseball player, Jordan needed to get back into basketball shape before the 1995-96 season. During all this, Jordan was filming his major role in Space Jam, which would be released in 1996. The film made over $230 million worldwide, becoming an instant classic. Now, LeBron James would follow in Jordan's footsteps, and he would be the creator behind the sequel for another Space Jam movie, Space Jam: A New Legacy, which marks James's first major leading acting role in his career. Essentially, Space Jam: A New Legacy will seek to update the original plot to modern times for a new generation of basketball fans. As such, audiences can expect a similar storyline to the original. The original movie features NBA stars Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, Shawn Bradley, and Muggsy Bogues. As of now, the new cast includes NBA stars Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, and Kyle Kuzma, along Bugs Bunny and friends. With Michael Jordan being one of the most popular players during his era, he had a pregame ritual that he stuck with for numerous years. MJ did the chalk toss that's recently been glorified.
Yo, I never knew MJ did the choke toss. Like, I ain't
about
gonna
LeBron James doing it during the
that.
last
Bron
decade,
took that.
but
Took
Jordan
that.
was actually the originator of it. Jordan did the
I
chalk
didn't know
toss
that.
mainly before
That's
high
crazy.
anticipated or televised matchups, but it was a bit different from LeBron's. Although MJ would pour chalk in his hands the same as James did, he would clap them together in the faces of the people sitting behind the scorer's table, documenting his career. He continued to do this so much that people anticipated it happening. People sitting at the scorer's table even began wearing special
That's
facial protection
tough.
to prevent a cloud of powder from hitting them in the face.
Yo,
Now,
nah.
LeBron's chalk
I
toss is
never
one of the most
noticed
iconic.
that, bro. Why nobody ever said that about this? Nobody ever said Bron was copying
Pregame rituals of all
Mike.
time, and he's done it for the majority of
maybe
his
I
career.
did.
Even
Oh,
though
no.
Jordan did the ritual first, LeBron has since reinvented it and arguably made it more iconic. LeBron
Nah,
talked
yeah.
to
That's
NBA.com
a
about
fact,
his
'cause I didn't
pregame
know Mike
ritual,
did it.
saying, "I don't remember the first time I started to do it, but I felt the fans started to embrace it, and I started to really set my mind to get focused on what was at task when I started to do it. Doing it on the road, sometimes you get booed.
Yeah, bro, you a capper, bro. You know what you did, bro. You took that from Mike. I can see it. Because, you know what I'm saying? You try to add your own little sauce to it. You try to add his own little joy to it. Throw it to the air. Like, come on, bro. We know. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
So I love it.
I ain't
At
gonna
home, they
lie.
go crazy. So I
It's
don't
not
know
to be,
what
you know what I'm saying?
made me
It's not to
start.
be the shade of either. Like, that's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? He came before you. He's the elder to you. Like, it's nothing to be ashamed of
Doing
about
it.
that.
I don't know.
Word.
Great things happen sometimes. At one point, LeBron actually stopped doing the chalk toss when he made his first exit from Cleveland to Miami. But when he made his return to the Cavaliers, he asked the fans to vote on if he should bring it back or not. Of course, the fans voted yes, and LeBron returned to his old ways. Over the years, fans became very expectant of this happening and showed up to games throwing paper confetti in the games to replicate him doing it. Now, we all know Michael Jordan for wearing the number 23 throughout his
Facts.
career, and usually most athletes choose their jersey based on some sort of meaning. For Jordan, he chose number 23 because of his older brother Larry. Although Larry never played in the NBA, Larry Jordan was a gifted athlete and basketball player. He taught Michael a lot about the sport of basketball and helped instill an ingrained competitiveness in Michael. It wasn't until late in high school that Michael started to really compete with Larry's ability. Larry would rock the number 45 growing up, so when Michael had to select his jersey number, the choice was obvious. If Michael was ever to be half the man his idol Larry was, then his jersey should reflect that. Half of 45 is 22.5. Round it up, and you have 23, which is the meaning behind the selection. Now, with LeBron James always seen wearing the same number as Michael Jordan, there tends to be speculation as to why he chose it. Instead of choosing his jersey number to idol a family member, James chose it to emulate his idol, which turns out to be Jordan. Growing up as a kid in the inner city, James noted he was seeking role models to gain inspiration from, and Michael Jordan was his hero. An article with Bleacher Report was surfaced in 2019, where James went into further detail on why he chose 23. James said, so when I started playing basketball, I was like, oh man, that 23 looks good. I want to be able to fly like him. I want to be able to shoot like him. I want to be able to dunk on somebody like him. I want to be able to stick out my tongue like him in the air and yell in somebody's face like MJ. If you take a look at the past, James almost took the appreciation for the number 23 even further. Back in 2009, James was playing with the Miami Heat and decided to change up his jersey number. Even Jordan changed his number before returning Miami Heat and decided to change up even further. Back in 2009, James was playing with the Miami Heat and decided to change up his jersey number. Even Jordan changed his number before returning back to the iconic 23, but during that time, James thought nobody should be able to wear that number across the league. In an old interview, James would say, I just think that what Michael Jordan has done for the game has to be recognized in some way soon. There would be no LeBron James, no Kobe Bryant, no Dwayne Wade if there wasn't a Michael Jordan first. I feel like no NBA player should wear 23. I'm starting a petition, and I've got everyone in the NBA to sign it. If I'm not going to wear 23, then nobody else should be able to wear it. Obviously, James still wears the number today, but maybe we should just let the two best basketball players in history have the honor. Not only did he choose 23 because of MJ, when he was in high school and he reached 6'6", he admitted that he secretly prayed he would not grow any taller because he truly wanted to be like Mike.
Like none of y'all is 23. That's MJ. That's BRON if you want to say BRON. That's MJ.
Would, of course, grow taller between 6'8" to 6'9", and his own understanding of the game would change to where he didn't just try to emulate MJ in every facet of his game the way Kobe Bryant did. LeBron himself even paid a heartfelt tribute to Michael Jordan after surpassing his playoff record for points. James admitted that to get to this point, he had to do everything MJ did. He said, I did pretty much everything MJ did when I was a kid. I shot fadeaways before I should have. I wore a leg sleeve on my leg and folded it down so you saw the red part. I wore black and red shoes with white socks. I wore short shorts so you could see my undershorts underneath. I didn't go bald like Mike, but I'm getting there. It'll be post-career though. That's the only thing I didn't do. But other than that, I did everything Mike.
Bro, I would have been bold too. I ain't gonna lie. With all that money. With all that money in those head treatments, bro, I would have been bold.
I even wore a wristband on my forearm. So I didn't do a hoop ring either. That was Mike. But I did everything Mike, man. I wanted to be like Mike. Obviously, we all know Michael Jordan put Nike on the map back in 1984. Overnight, Jordan became a cultural icon by taking an underdog brand and turning it into the most valuable consumer brand we've ever seen. Back in the day, Adidas was 50% larger by revenue. Reebok had just burst on the scene, and Converse was the brand of choice for NBA stars Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Julius Erving. Jordan wore Converse sneakers at the University of North Carolina, and his first choice was to join Adidas after the Bulls drafted him. Jordan's agent, David Falk, created the phrase Air Jordan and had other ideas. He had a close relationship with Nike and convinced Jordan to hear the company's pitch, along with the help of Jordan's mother. Nike eventually offered a 5-year deal with a base pay of $500,000 per year, triple any other NBA sneaker deal. Nike gave Jordan creative control, and they ended up starting an empire, which eventually would become its own brand. Recently, ESPN has been releasing episodes from the Jordan documentary, The Last Dance. David Falk was talking during one of the episodes and said Nike's expectation at the end of year 4, they hope to sell $3 million of Air Jordans. In year 1, we sold 126 million. Now, the only athlete to come close to Jordan would be LeBron James. When he signed to Nike at 18, he was just like Jordan, a young rookie getting paid a massive amount of money to promote Nike, and Nike went all out doing a one-of-a-kind pitch on LeBron, and in time he signed a lifetime deal. Back then, when LeBron imagined his future, he'd always seen himself in Nikes. He dreamed of being in Nike commercials. He wanted to be like Jordan. He wanted to do business with Nike. In his words, he wanted to be in the Nike family. Some of it was Jordan's legacy because he did so much for the brand already, but LeBron just wanted to follow his idol. A key part to Michael Jordan's post-basketball life is smoking cigars, a lot of them. Back in 2017, Jordan would appear on the cover of the 25th anniversary of Cigar Aficionado magazine. In an interview with Marvin R. Shankin, the magazine's publisher, Jordan admitted to lighting up at least 6 stogies a day. During that interview with Cigar Aficionado, Jordan said, I smoked my first cigar in 1991 when we won the championship. Up to that point, I never smoked a cigar, never smoked anything. We won the championship and Jerry Reinsdorf gave me one of his cigars. He's a big cigar smoker. In Chicago, I tell people this, and they have to understand the context of what happened. We had to be to the stadium at 6 o'clock for home games, and traffic was so bad it would take us an hour and 15 or an hour and 30 minutes to drive. So now I'm sitting in the car for almost an hour and a half and I'm very tense. I'm worried about the traffic, so I started smoking a cigar going to the games. In 1993, it became a ritual for every home game. LeBron James is another very well-known athlete who occasionally has been spotted smoking Cuban cigars online. Unlike Michael Jordan, who prefers to be more upfront about his love of cigars, LeBron throughout his career proudly showed his cigar passion through his social media platforms. James's cigar smoking traces back to his time with the Miami Heat. In 2011, James's first year with the Heat, Miami lost to Dallas in the finals. Owner Mark Cuban smoked cigars on the plane ride home with the championship trophy in the seat next to him. But 2012 and 2013 were Miami's title years, and James sampled various brands of high-end cigars. Now, from time to time, we see James break them out through social media, even smoking with close friends like Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook. LeBron James idolized Jordan in numerous ways, and certainly cigars were another. If you've enjoyed this video, then we're sure you'll enjoy.
Bro, really out here copying Mike, man. He really out here copying Mike. I ain't gonna lie. I see it, man. A whole bunch of things. But I feel like it's like almost not even on purpose at this point. Like he just been watching for so long, and it just happens, you know. Because there's some people that I watch on YouTube that I used to watch a lot, like every single day. And I find myself saying some of the terms that they used to say, things like that, and I can't even help myself, you know. That happens when you grow up watching somebody or grow up idolizing somebody, I guess you could say. Yeah, man. But if y'all enjoyed this, you know what I'm saying, click on the last reaction, comment which one you react to next. My fault, fumbling this shit. Like the video, y'all. Like the video, and I'm out of here, man.